Hello, my name is David, and I'm the CEO of Eduflow. And I wanted to give a quick intro to how you build courses in Eduflow and kind of show you a bit around the platform. So, to do that, I'm going to make a new course. I'm going to call it Digital Learning, and then I'll set everything up as we go. So, when you do Eduflow courses, you can either start empty or you can get started with a template. But for this case, I'm going to take an empty course to begin with. So let's set it up. Let's give it a title. I'm going to call it Digital Learning course. And then Eduflow courses, beyond having titles, they also have a thumbnail. So let's pick a relevant one for this course. Let's take this computer here. So when you have a course in Eduflow, it's empty, and then you have to add activities to the course. So Eduflow offers a broad range of different things you can do. You can have activities if you want to provide information, such as content activity or video activity to show videos. We have activities that are a bit more active, so you can have learners submit different things. You can have them take a quiz. You can have them do a self-review or self-assessment. Then we have some activities that are more collaborative. We have a discussion activity. We have, we talk about advanced activities here. We also have a peer review activity. And then we have different activity types where you can embed other tools into Eduflow. So an example is the SCORM activity to import so-called SCORM modules, or you can use our embed activity here. And then we have a long range of integrations that you can see some of here. So these are tools you can add into Eduflow and have it all work inside Eduflow. But to begin with, let's do something simple and let's add a content activity to Eduflow. So this is an empty content activity. Let's give it some content. We can give it a title. I'll call it Welcome to the Course. We can give it an icon. I'm gonna take this waving hand here. We can give it a cover photo. Let's take something that's welcoming. This one. And then we can write the actual content. Write something like, in this course, you will learn everything you need to know. So now we have a course, basically. We have a course with just one content activity in it. But let's keep going. Let's add some more stuff. So let's add another activity. And this time let's take a discussion activity. So in the discussion activity, we can have the different participants in the course talk to each other and discuss different things. We could use it for example, introducing people to each other. So let's call it introduce yourself. Let's take an icon again. It's actually not a bad one, but I want this one. And then we can write some content. So let me just take something I already wrote. So you should change it to introduce yourself, write a short introduction, and include your name, where you live, something about your hobbies, a photo if you want, and then check out what others wrote and leave some comments. So now we have a discussion activity in the course. But for this one, I want to change some of the settings a little bit. So every activity has a settings page. So I'll go there. And then what I want to do in this case is two things. I want to set it up so that people complete the discussion when they've done at least one topic. So they have to post about themselves, but I don't want to require that they comment on anybody else's topics. And then the other thing I want to do is I want to set up a so-called prerequisite. So I want people to have completed the welcome activity before they do their introductions. So I'll add the welcome activity as a prerequisite for the discussion activity here. But that's it. Cool. So then we have two activities now, a welcome activity and an introduction activity. So now I want to add something a little bit bigger to the course. So now people know what they're going to do. They've introduced themselves. And what I want them to do now is a bit more active. I want them to submit something. I want them to give feedback to each other, and I want them to read and reflect on that feedback. And this is a so-called flow. So we have these different activities in Eduflow, but we also think that these three activities specifically fit well together. So I'm going to add a whole peer review flow to the course now. Here we go. And then I'm going to set it up. So in this course, let's say I want people to submit their project plans. Then I could call the flow here, find your project plan. And then I have three activities here that I want to go in and change. So let's take the submission activity first. So this one, I can call it write your project plan. Give it a new icon. Take this writing one. And then I can write a small description here of what I want people to submit. And then in this case, I say that they should write and submit a project plan that should outline what they're going to work on. And then I mentioned that they should see the example plan attached as an example here. So let's actually go and attach a file to this activity. So every activity in Eduflow can have attachments. So I'm going to upload one here called project plan. And then while that uploads, I'm going to change the settings a little bit. So for this submission activity, the learners can submit different things, but I only want them to submit files or things from Google Drive. I don't want them to write their project plans in Eduflow, and I don't want them to do anything with video here. So I'm going to change the submission settings here, and then I want to set up a requisite again to say that they should do the introduction before they start the peer review or the submission here. Then let's do the peer review one. We can jump directly into the settings page like this. And then we could say, get a new icon, take this one, and then let's change some of the settings. So peer review here, we ask people to first submit a project plan, and now they have to give feedback to each other's project plans. So that's what's defined here, the source. It says, in this peer review, we're going to be peer reviewing the things that come from the activity where they submitted the project plans. And then for peer review, you have a bunch of different settings you can choose. I'm going to change the number of peer reviews that everybody should be doing. So I just want them to review 2 other project plans. And in this case, it's already set up to have a prerequisite. And then I want to also impose a deadline. So I want people to remember to finish their peer reviews before the 20th at, let's say, 8 o'clock. So that's my deadline. And then I'll go to the reflection activity here. For that one, I'll just set an icon. It's already set up as I wanted. So now I have a course with a welcome discussion activity, and then I have a peer review flow here where people submit project plans, give feedback to each other, and then read and reflect on their feedback. Then the final part of my course, I want to add a little bit of kind of a round off. So I'm going to make an empty flow here. I'm going to call it the wrap up. And then I'm going to add 2 activities at the end here. The first one is that I want to give people a course survey. And I want to do that through one of our embed activities. I'm going to use the Typeform activity. The Typeform is a survey tool. So I can call it the course survey. And then in the Typeform activity here, I can embed a embed code that I get from Typeform. And then I can set it up to show the way I want it to be. In this case, I want to use what we call the wide view, which gives the whole screen to Typeform. And I want to set a prerequisite that people should have reflected on their feedback before they start the course survey. So The way this will look in Eduflow is like this. So basically you get the thing from Typeform embedded directly into Eduflow. And then finally, let's add a certificate at the end. So when people have done their survey, I want to issue them a certificate. You can call that get your certificate. Give it an icon. So this festive one. And we just need to set the prerequisite and then we're done with the course. So once you do the survey, then you get your certificate. So now I've built a course. I have a course with content, discussion activity. I have a peer review flow where people submit things and do peer reviews and read their feedback. I have a course survey embedded from Typeform, and then I'm issuing a certificate to my learners. So now the only thing I need to do is to invite somebody, and you can do that in the participants page. You can either copy this link and share it with people. You can set up a public course page if you want, or you can invite people through email, invite learners one by one, or through a file upload. So that's everything you need to know about how to set up courses in Eduflow. I hope you'll get started and reach out if you have any questions.